Good morning, Breakfast Club family. This is Mark Stevens for our host, Joe Shute. December the 19th. Peace and blessings to you all. See everybody starting to chime in. Got some more information for you this morning on some progress and about the class last night. We had a fantastic class last night, and we're bragging on this class too because they get it. They get it, and it's a fun group. They like to have fun and they like to work hard. So we'll talk about that this morning. So with that being said, we'll get right into it so we'll have enough time. Good morning, Joe. How are you?
Good morning, Mark. I am fine and dandy and in a good place today. Thank you.
Great.
In a good place today. So you see the bicycle today, right?
Yeah, I see the bicycle today.
Okay, well, you are right. Let me do a few house cleaning things here. Hold on.
Okay.
Had a little challenge getting in this morning, so for those of you who were trying to get in and getting a recording, we straightened that out.
Well, I'm going to go put that in Skype so anybody who had trouble, they can come back in, try to come back in.
Yeah. Okay, I just did a little house stuff here. Okay, yeah, well, good morning, Mark. I mean, it's just, this was a real, you're right, that class last night, I'll tell you something. That was the first time that in all of the classes ever that we had basically a 98% return from the foundational class. Most of the time, people get scared. They don't want to role play. They don't want to be put on the line. And that class, everybody returned but one person. I thought that was very interesting that we had the whole class come back. That was very powerful. And you can tell that they get it. And I know if you haven't been to the class, you don't even know what I mean by that. But they understood. They totally got the no gaps, assumptions. They knew exactly where to go, and they understand the QAQ. Every single person was able to, to actually do a role play and follow the pattern. And it's only because they got it. They understood where they needed to go. So I was very excited for that, and we're going to announce this right now. Next Tuesday night, there's going to be what we call our celebration for that class. It'll be Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. I want to keep mentioning it. I'm going to put it out there. You need to hear these people and what they have to say about that class. If you haven't been there, and I got a very interesting letter last night from Roger. So Roger, thank you for sending that letter to us, and actually I'd like to publish that letter. It's an amazing letter, and we've had a few before that were pretty powerful, but this one tells the story, and I'm very excited for Roger. Roger, he was great in the class. Number one, he was, you could tell right from the beginning that he was studying. He was doing what he was supposed to do to have his business grow. And he's sitting there willing to help people. And that's what this class is about. Is it for you? Yeah. The truth is, most people in this industry have no clue how to help you. They have no clue how to do a three-way call, a director call. They don't even know how to conduct themselves with their original prospect. But by learning and going through this class, They learn to help others. And that's the key. You're not going to grow unless you know how to teach your people, or at least point them in the right direction. Just imagine for a minute, Mark, that you had a team, originally 5 people. You came in, you put 5 people in, and they all went to the class. And those 5 put 5 in who all went to the class. And you had a team now, down the road of 100, 200, 300 people, and they all got it. They all understood how to do a phone call. They understood how to support each other with a director call and move people forward. I mean, can you imagine? Right now, we have people coming in from all different teams, but imagine a team of people 1,000 deep, and all of them knew exactly how to pass that call off to a director. In fact, they knew how to get on and find the interested party. It'd take them 3 to 5 minutes to find out whether or not the party they connected with or communicated with actually, they communicated and they actually knew the whole process. Just imagine if that were true, and that should be their goal now. The people that went through that class, that's what they should be doing, getting their people to get on the same page and moving forward. You can't do this without duplicating. You can't be a salesman here. Can you sell gold and other items to your friends and some people and acquaintances? Of course. Of course you can do that. But just imagine if Walmart, McDonald's, Burger King, all these companies opened up, and the only people that came to their store were people who the employees invited. Now just imagine that. Nobody else knew they were in town. You think they'd make it? I don't think so. In our industry, we have to tell people who tell people who tell people who tell people to get that word out there. I know people want to run ads in USA Today and think that all works. That doesn't work in our industry. You may find a couple of people, but at that point, you got to teach them how to tell people, tell people, tell people, tell people. That's what's known as networking. So when people understand the process and they know how to pick up that phone and say, "Hi, Mark, it's Joe Shoup giving you a quick call here from Colorado. And the reason I called is you were on one of our websites, and I want to speak to you about managing a business from home with our company. You have a few minutes now, or do we need to reschedule for a time that's more convenient for both of us?" If you can't repeat that word for word, something's wrong. And imagine having an entire team that all day long they were communicating with people, maybe after sending them to a sales piece or a funnel where they clicked on, went and saw a presentation, and then they called them back and asked them where they were. Are we on the same page, basically? That's what you're trying to find out. Set an appointment. You're trying to move them over to that director if they've already seen something. If they've saw nothing and you just called them cold, then the reason you called is a little different, or what you want them to do is a little different. Sending them now to a piece of information so that you can see that you're on the same page. But the purpose then would be set an appointment to get back together to find that out. The purpose after they've looked at something is to get them over to a director. In other words, set that appointment with the director, which happens to be right now. In other words, if you were on there, you should have a director ready that you can take them to right away. So the purpose, the objective of every phone call is to set an appointment. Move them to the next step. And if you don't know how to do that effectively, if you're sitting there talking about gold and the economy, you're not going to move your team forward. They're going to do it. Then they're going to think they have to know all about gold. And all they have to know is that we're looking for people who want to manage a business from home and learn the way we do it, and move them over to a director, and then get them registered, and then give them the manual, the steps to move forward, which is put them in classes, put them on calls with other presentations, Joe Norman and whomever, and let them hear more and more about the company. As you put them through the process, you're finding somebody else. Secretaries lawyers, lawyer offices, doctor's offices, once they make the appointment, they're now ready to field the next one. They're not sitting there talking more and more and more about with that customer. That process is over for them. It's over. So now the next thing is to answer the phone and guide that person to their appointment. Make an appointment for them. Hang up the phone, handle the next one. Maybe even call people back to confirm their appointments. The process is almost identical, and that's what people fail to see. They call up and they want to say everything and interview them and find out, how much money they need to make and all this on the initial call. And that's, for me, that's, unless they've heard something already, unless they're hearing about income, that's not necessary at that stage. So our initial process is sending out the presentation to people. Now, I also, Mark, as you know, get people who want to create emails and tell people what it's all about. Tell them about gold, tell them about the process, and expect them to click something on to go find out more. And once you take away that curiosity, that's not going to happen. But if you send them a notice that you want to speak to them about managing a business from home with your company, and have them go to a certain link and watch a presentation of some sort, that's fine. That's what we do. Or call me. In other words, let's say this happened, Mark. You send it out, and my message, as you know, one of them says, I'd like to speak with you about managing a business from home with my company. Call me at this number. Obviously, I list my number. And this is what I say. I'll be here in the office till 9 p.m. this evening. If not, just call me tomorrow between 9 a.m. and 12 noon. There's a reason for that. One, it doesn't matter if I say Eastern, Western. It doesn't matter. It's just call me by 9 p.m. They can figure that out, what time zone when they call. And you can put the time zone if you want, but call me by 9 p.m. Eastern. Call me. If not, just call me tomorrow between 9 a.m. and 12 noon. Even if you're not working tomorrow, even if it's Friday when you send it, it doesn't matter. Don't go changing it. It's a business letter or email that you need to duplicate with your team. So everybody sends the same thing. It doesn't matter if you tell them. I mean, I had a guy, honestly, change that. After having some success, he decided that what he was going to put in there is something about, don't call me on Sundays because that's my worship day. I can't even fathom why one would tell somebody that in a business setting anyway. Don't call me on Sundays. So you put that in there, and once that person, they have an option. They can call you, which they may do. Maybe they'll call you and they haven't seen anything. And that's where script number one, candidate search, comes in. They may call you and didn't see anything. And you need to find that out. When they call, hey, Joe, this is Mike Smith, and I called. I got your email. It said to call you. Mike, have you gone to the company overview? No, I haven't done that yet. Okay, great. So guess what? We're now at the stage in one of the steps that says, let me tell them what we're going to do. They called you. They told you the reason they called. Now you're going to tell them what to do. So what we need to do is get you over to that overview. We'll get back together and we'll see if we're on the same page. Now, are mornings good for you, Frank, or are Tuesdays or evenings better? That's the no gap. That's the assumption. What you said is working, and you move to the next piece without a gap. Set the appointment, tie it down, move forward, put it in your schedule, and call them at the scheduled time. Once you get the process, you know what, Mark, you were right. These people yesterday and these last 2 weeks have been in this class. They get it. They know that's what you have to do. And if you teach your team that process, that automated process, you will get duplication. You just can't be haphazardly out there and tell them, do what you want. So you're right. It was exciting, and I'm excited to, if I get Roger's permission, to show people what he wrote about being in that class. And not just that, what I was impressed about was his commitment to his own future. I think it's one of the few, if maybe the first that put it in detail the way he did what he's going to do in the next year. And that's what you need to do. Great job, Roger. I'm excited to work with you. Anyway, that's pretty exciting. So Tuesday, we'll have that celebration at 9 p.m. Eastern. You'll meet these people. They'll tell you what their experience was and where they're going, what's different for them now, and why they'll move their team to that and through this process. So I don't know if you want to comment on that, Mark, because I have an update for the funnel, by the way.
Okay, well, as you said, what's so impressive about this group is that they get it. And what they've gotten down is the technique, which is very important, and they understand that and they use it. And the other thing, it's a fun group too. I mean, they have a lot of fun, and it's like it's like one big family, and everybody's sharing and everybody's helping. Nobody's judging, and it makes it a lot of fun. And then at the same time, you're getting the job done, and then these people will be successful, because they'll get the technique down, they will follow, the system, and they'll do what's necessary, and they'll share it with their team. That's how you're going to build your people locations. That's how you're going to build your team. Because, again, as it says, together everyone achieves more. If you're doing the same thing, sharing the same thing, saying the same thing, that creates duplication. That's what it's all about. And that's one of the most important things about this class. It teaches you how to do that. It teaches you how to talk, when to say what, how to say it, who to say it to, all of those things. It's all in there. And when you use it, you become successful. And I mean, when you have people who've had a lot of professional training and everything, but they come in and they say, well, this is just over the top. I thought I knew what I thought I knew, but really, this is something totally different, and it makes a big difference. So when you have that, then, Joe, you're on the right track.
Yep, it is true. Just leave this class with one more thought. For those of you that have not been through that, if you were on the phone call and somebody said to you, are you making any money with this? Or, what would I be doing? If you can't answer that and teach your team how to answer that the same way you would, how will you get duplication? So my question to you, that if you've not been to the class, is write down the question, are you making any money? And go answer it. And then get to the class and find out how you answer it. Especially if you've been here a year and you're not making any money. How can you be telling people that they're going to make X amount of dollars, or how exciting it is? In the back of your mind, you haven't had a check for 2 months. It doesn't work. So that's something to think about. Something to think about. Where did you get my name? What are you making any money? Is this a pyramid? If you can't answer that legitimately, I don't mean fumbling around, and your team doesn't say the same thing you say, you don't have duplication. So I suggest you write that down and see how you do. So I guess I can't share the screen because I haven't really investigated the whole thing, but it looks as though we are very, very close to the completion of the new marketing, I'm going to use the word funnel. Let's use a different word. New marketing tool, marketing website, let's call it, where you have a capture page. So as I said earlier, sending out a message that asks them to click on the company overview, that's what I'm talking about. They will go to a page where they'll get some information and they'll fill out, just as you know, that's what capture pages do, fill it out so you can go forward and see the presentation. So once we do that, once they do that, they get the full presentation and they get instructions that they're going to schedule an interview. And it's almost done. We are at the very, very closing stages of this right now. I expected that at some point today we'll sign off on it, and be ready probably. Now, I say ready Monday. It'll be in the right format, but now what we're doing is, and we have been doing, is creating the back-end letters. When a person fills out the information, they get a letter, and that letter guides them through the process. If they filled it out and they haven't responded and we tried to call them and they weren't there, it keeps sending them a letter. So, that's what we're doing now. We'll, by next week, we will have all of those letters in the back office and ready to go. So I'm excited about that too, Mark.
Yes. Very exciting.
I don't know if anybody has any questions. I once again publicly want to congratulate those people. The answer is no. Who is that asking that question? Would you type your name in for us? It says opportunity. That's not your name. Just type your name in that box so we know who we're answering here. It's probably one of our upline trying to figure it out, right? Probably going to get the handbook and try to copy it. It'll be ready along with the funnel, with the website next week in the capture page. Okay, so don't know who that is asking. Oh, there we go. Phil. Okay. Phil. Oh, Phil Donahue. Phil Donahue. We're going to be on the Phil Donahue show, Mark.
Oh, great.
It'll be done next week. It's basically done. It's just not going to release it till the funnel is ready. Any other questions? I don't see any there.
No, I don't see any other questions.
I like what Roger put up here. He put a couple of these things in his letter to show them how to have a business, in parentheses, rather than a wishful thought. That's true. Let's talk about that for a minute. People get in these companies and, boy, they're hoping again this is going to be the one, because they got a leader who tells them they're going to make money. And look how simple it is. Trade cash for gold, or buy this new hair potion or new vitamin that'll, cure your disease, whatever it is. And you get that wishful thinking again, hoping and dreaming, and it's going to be different this time. But it's not going to be different until you learn how to communicate, period. And I know people that go through this class, they get it. And they totally get it. And it's so funny because before you get into the class, you figure what could be different. I mean, I've been to classes. Yep, Ronnie says that funnel's going to be icing on the cake. I agree. Wait till you see it, Ronnie. Wait till you see when somebody clicks on, when you tell them, look, go over here, take a look, go over this company overview, we'll discuss the possibilities. And that's the kind of language you should have, discussing the possibilities. You don't know if you want to work with that person. You really don't. So the possibilities are, yeah, maybe you'll want to work with us. Maybe we'll want to work with you. But, yeah, that's going to be the icing on the cake. Where do you see what it looks like when they go over there? Huh, Mark? Mark's the only one that's seen it.
Yeah, it's going to be phenomenal.
It's really good looking. It's professional. And there's no hype on it. It's just our company is expanding and looking for people who are honest, ambitious, and work well with others. Fill out the information below for a company overview, and then it tells them that what you'll get in that presentation or overview is the company background, what we do, what you would be doing, and the money that's available. Or the, I think, income available, I think is what it says. And at the end of it, and it tells them, after watching this, you'll be guided to an interview with a director or one of our representatives. So that's what it says. Now, some people will look and go, yeah, it sounds like a job. It sounds like you're doing, well, go try enticing them with get rich, make more money, gather up free gold. You go ahead and try that and see if it works for you. That's not what it's about anyway. Not about free gold. It's not about You know what it's about? Two things. Learning how to manage a business from home, and that business entails helping people get their financial house in order. That entails getting the gold and exchanging cash for gold, and but learning how to manage this business so that you can learn how to get your financial house in order. You can learn to trade cash for gold or whatever area you're going to free up that money, and that's what we're teaching people to do. Build the business from home, and that business entails helping. Do you know, everywhere you look, every day, you can't turn the radio or television on without hearing a financial institution or an advertisement for gold or precious metals, silver, and everything. You can't turn your TV on and not hear the financial, getting your financial house in order. You can't do it. Every day they're talking about citizens who are hurting, what the banks have done, how we've run up the debt, how to fix your problem, get a loan from Quicken Loans, all that stuff. Why? Because most of the people are not successful. They're not planning for their retirement. They don't have enough money saved. And there are companies teaching them how to do it. We happen to be probably the only company, or one of the only companies, in the home business arena that's teaching them that. And our best solution to it is for them to acquire precious metals such as gold, to protect them, to protect their future, and more importantly, to help your family understand that so your 25-year-old doesn't get in the same boat you are 30 years later. If you think that's not an important mission, we're on a mission here to help people, to teach people, to tell them, not on a mission for you just to change cash for gold. That's not the point of it. Now, you may hear people say that here, but that's not it. The purpose, our mission is to help people change their financial future. And that's a heck of a lot better than saying, well, we're just here to ask you to change cash for gold. That's nice. But what if we can help you further? What if you get enough education to move and change your family's future? That's where we are. That's what we're doing. This is what Art Williams did. He taught people how to change their financial future. It changed mine, I'll tell you that. And I know many, many people that we helped through those years. And today they understand the Rule of 72. They understand how, to free up some money. All they need now is to know they can free it up and have a gold IRA, a self-directed gold IRA, or accumulating gold personally. That's what they need. Anyway, that's here we are on Friday.
Well, Joe, I want to put an idea out there for everybody to think about. Because of what is going on now, I think we should have two accounts. One account is by default because of the system that we're in, and the other account is to protect yourself. In other words, having your money in the bank is not safe because of the laws that have been passed and everything. So, but it's a necessary evil. You have to have some type of bank account to conduct your business and everything, and that's the way it's been set up. But you also should have another account to preserve what you have accumulated, and that will give you a hedge, as to what's happening in the society. And that's the gold savings account. So I'm telling people now, you should have two accounts. You should have, everybody knows about a regular savings account and a checking account and a business account or whatever. But do you have an account to back that up? Do you have an account to preserve what you have, to protect you from whatever comes along? And gold has been doing that for almost 6,000 years. So do you have your gold account, savings account set up yet? Well, the people need to know about that. And then, again, if you understand this presentation, without even saying it, because you don't have to hype this. We don't have to hype gold. We don't have to hype income or anything like that per se. The presentation will do all of that for you. It won't hype it, but what it'll do is it'll educate you. It's about education. It's about thinking. And it's also about action, taking action. And we show you how to take action in 2 ways. Are you more interested in, gold accumulation? Are you more interested in, revenue